If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for some. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for some. If
Good time zones, race fans, and welcome to the historic Milwaukee Mile right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is the Say Cheese 200 on the iCast Racing Network, powered by iRacing for round number 20 of the iRacing Sim NASCAR Fever Series. I am Mike Taylor up here in the booth, and with me is a mastermind of race breakdowns, a chaos spotter with razor sharp instincts, and the voice that turns every lap into adrenaline spike. Please welcome the one, the only Dakota LaRue. Dakota, this mile track always brings a lot of drama. Glad to have you here to call it with me. And man, today we have a lot of really good racing. I know you said that you haven't raced here, but have you seen any races here at all?
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I have, but after I've been watching practice, it really reminds me of kind of like a New Hampshire style track. So I got a feeling it's gonna kind of be the same. It's gonna be kind of like a short track, but with a little bit higher speed.
Yeah, one thing that makes this track just a little bit different against New Hampshire is the wideness of these corners. New Hampshire's corners are a little bit tighter, um, but these ones here they have a little bit more of a wider turn, and that's what makes this track very unique. And talk about this track, let's go ahead and take a look here real quick at our race information. We are going to run 200 laps around this 1 mile speedway. The stage breaks will be on lap 60 and 120. As always, 60% fuel, 4 sets of tires. Your hometown hero is going to be Chris Otto in that number 6 machine out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Your defending winner and only winner here is going to be Kyle Benson. The Milwaukee Mile is the oldest operating motor speedway in the world. It opened up in 1903, just a couple years before Indianapolis Motor Speedway did. So, who will join the record books at this very historic racetrack? And your average cautions here is 6, as we only have had one race here, and that was back in season 8 of the ISNF series. And our average lead changes right now is 13. So, a lot of things are going to change here today as we get ready to bring these cars out on track. Some of them already came down for qualifying. So let's go ahead and take a quick look here.
Well, real quick, I just want to butt in, and you said, who's gonna be able to take that, get a new win here, and I mean, Mark Gonzalez and Angel Hernandez qualifying 1-2 with probably a point 0.2 to point 0.3 gap on everybody else. And if they're able to run that during the race and maintain that kind of a gap lap to lap, they're definitely going to be pulling away from the field here, as that's quite a bit of a gap on this type of track.
Absolutely. And let's go ahead and take a look now at our starting lineup. As I just realized, which is no surprise, that my HUD isn't showing up. But give me here just one moment. We'll get that up and running here. But I'm gonna go ahead and start doing our rundown of our um, starting grid. Actually, Dakota, you want to go ahead and take that off for me?
Yeah, I can. We got Mark Gonzalez starting on the pole. Angel Hernandez to his outside in P2. We got Josh Grosso in P3. We're gonna have Jeffrey Weimer in P4. Robertson in P5. Chris Bishop in the 71 in P6. We're gonna have. Give me 1 second. For some reason, my thing is not showing me the correct order of the names. Uh, Anyways, we're gonna have Frank in P7, Craig Lautenslager in P8. We're gonna have Kyle Williams in P9, Christian Delgado at P10, Steven Sire P11, Fabricio in P12. All right, P13 is gonna be Scotty Trust. We're gonna have Alyssa Sharp in P14. P15 is gonna be Dylan. P16 is gonna be Joey Maines. Chris Sauter is gonna be 17th. William Austin 18th. Parker Parker, P19. We're gonna have David Justin at P20. Theodis P21.
Thaddeus.
Sorry about Thaddeus at
Thaddeus.
P21. I'm sorry about that. English is a very hard language for me, even though I've spoken it all my life. We're gonna have Michael starting P22, Zachary P23, Larry P24, Daniel P25, Michael's going to be P26, Kyle P27, Justin P28, Cody P29. And that's kind of a wild one for me, as Cody typically qualifies a little better than that, as he's going to be starting at 29 spot. We're going to have Chris starting at P30, John Hopley P31, Phil P32, Shane P33, David Anderson P34, Brian P35, and Bob Wyckoff P36, Dylan Smith, and Matt Metler, I believe, are not going to make the start here, as that would round out our field at 36 cars, with Bob Wyckoff being at the tail end.
Absolutely, as we're getting ready to take the green flag here, we're going to finish up taking a look here at our starting grid. And we have other information to go over, but we'll go over all that great stuff here momentarily. But ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to go green flag racing right here at the Milwaukee Mile, ladies and gentlemen.
And it looks like the 21's coming into pits to serve a possible black flag that he might have had from last week. Cody Meadows here. Looks like he's going to be doing a drive-through.
Yeah, definitely a very unfortunate situation there for that driver. So you guys are going to be taking a look at a lot of these paint schemes here today, as Mark Gonzalez in that number 2 machine has rocketed out front so far.
And they're already 3 wide for the 4th spot. Holy cow. Sorry about that, bud. I did not mean to cut you off. Wow. I was not expecting that this early.
Yeah, these guys, let me tell you what, that's one thing I like about these series is they may be only on lap number 2, but they're already running like it's lap 3, and that's usually a very good thing for us, as we got a lot of really good racing going on. But as I was saying, you know, one of the things that with these paint schemes, every single one of these cars are gonna have yellow on it in some way, shape, or form, as this is the Say Cheese 200. But really good racing all around so far. You know, really good, tight racing. Everyone is currently leaving plenty of room. Oh, hold on to it as the 11 takes it around, and that is going to be Kyle Williams. And that 11 to 51 is around. Hard impact there for Dylan Lansdowne, as he will come back across the track in front of everybody, and he'll get that machine turned back around. Definitely very unfortunate there, but you guys saw it nice and live right there. That number 11 machine just losing it out of turn number 4. But no harm, no foul. No one got hit or anything, so everything's going to be looking good on that aspect there, as the iRacing pace car will catch up with your race leaders.
And unfortunately for the 51 there, you know, he did a really good job of dodging the 11, but once these cars get, you know, going down the track, if you do the slightest bit of a turn right in these next gen cars, they just instantly want to dead hook and go towards the wall most of the time. I've not really been able to figure out why, but it's just the way these cars are set up, and unfortunately it's going to jerk him right into the wall. But he doesn't look like he has too much damage, so hopefully that won't affect his day too much. And I want to take a moment to go into the chat. We got William in here saying, "Go Trusty."
We absolutely love it when we have fans come in and, you know, they root for their favorite drivers in the series. So welcome in, welcome in. We got, Scott Trusty he's out here today.
Sir, I need your help for a second, all right?
What's up?
What is the best view for this track? Because TV2 and TV3 do not seem to be it for me.
I prefer to use probably TV1.
Fair enough. I just figured I'd double check here because I'm really struggling to see, you know, some of the action going on in the field, and I'm having to switch cameras a lot.
you give me 1 second, and I'll get you hooked up with the views that I got.
So I did notice there was a couple of people having some issues in pits. I believe the 7 missed his pit box. The 3 had to slow down quite a bit as someone was pulling out to see if it was going in, and a couple other cars. I mean, the 7 still having issues. What's going on with that? I don't believe it. Let the 7 car pit, unfortunately, of Dylan Smith there.
That's definitely very weird there for those drivers. All right, and as you guys take a look at your ticker at the top, you're going to see those drivers highlighted in yellow. Those drivers are going to be your playoff, or I'm sorry, not your, your playoff drivers. And as we're going to get ready to go ahead and double them up here once again.
Look how sharp a return that pace car made. As the 2's going to be leading us back to the green here. And what a wonderful start he got on the inside line there. But the 45 is trying to follow him through on the inside to get around the 23 as we're going through 1 and 2 this time. But the 23 is going to have such a better drive off and be able to clear back by. And that's going to allow for the 45 to drop back into that 3rd spot. And, you know, most of these cars single flat out for the most part, is we're going to have another caution.
Yeah, another caution is going to be coming out here, and that's going to be for that number 99 of David Anderson. Very unfortunate situation there for him. Let's go ahead and go back, take a quick look, see what happened to David as he brought out the caution.
And I did just get word that the pit road will probably have issues all race due to there being no updates to it, so there are issues with it.
Oh, really good heads up driving there by a couple of these drivers. Let's come back here as we take a look. As the 99 gets down here into turn number 1, he locks up the brakes just a little bit, jumps it sideways, and man, that number 34 and the 47 as the 99 whips it back to the right. Both of those drivers were able to slam on the brakes and just squeeze by. What incredible driving by those two drivers right there. Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, while we're under this caution, let's go ahead and we're going to take a quick look at your championship standings. Ta-da. Those drivers in yellow, again, these guys are your chase drivers. So out front, it is going to be Charles Robertson, currently on top of the standings with Angel Hernandez right behind him. Cody Meadows, Mark Gonzalez, Craig Lautenslager, they'll round out your top 5. Christian Delgado, Chris Otto, Jeff Weimer, Chris Van Mastert, Danny Solo, John Hopley. Joseph Maines in the number 48 machine. He's in there as well. Michael Hoffledason, Alyssa Sharp, and Larry Fairman is your top 5 there in points. And one other thing before we fully get things underway here once again. I'd like to give a real quick shout out to a couple drivers here. Your substitute drivers for the day: Dylan Smith in the number 7, Kyle Williams in that number 7 or that number 11 machine, Shane Griffin in the 35, Thaddeus Friel in the 47, I believe that is. And then Justin Barkley in the 54. And Ria's top picks for the day, it's going to be Josh Grosso, Angel Hernandez, Charles Robertson, Kyle Benson, Craig Lautenschlager, and Zach Phillips. And your pace car is going to crank it down here off the track one last time. And we are green flag racing here once again.
That 45 with another good jump, but just not able to get clear to 23, and the 23 is going to have a better drive off here. That 45 might have to settle back for that P3, but Angel Hernandez is fighting back really hard here. Still on the inside, and 23 is going to be able to clear this time, I believe.
Yeah, this track it's such a very unique track. And let's go ahead and ride on board with Frank DeAngelis in that number 62 machine. He was thrown in here last second, but we're going to go ahead and ride on board with him here as he comes down the back straightaway down into turn number 3.
And I can see the speed in the second lane, but I got a feeling it's really going to wear these tires out here. And, I mean, that's with me having no driving experience here. I'm just taking a guess.
Yeah, remember that this track is a very, very old surface. The last time... Oh, we have trouble. And the Charles Roberson in that number 20 machine is going to be involved in. All she wrote, Chris Otto gets spun out here on the back straightaway. But he's going to crank it in the correct direction.
As the caution will be out again.
Really good driving there by that number 6 machine to get thrown back around. And
yeah, and that 2-car Mark Gonzalez after that restart was actually putting a pretty decent gap on everybody there. It's like he was cut on a turbo just compared to the past few restarts.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go back here and take a look and see, once again here, what happened. It started off with Charles Roberson in that number 20 machine. He got turned off the front end of that 62. And then Chris Otto, he got bumped a couple times by the 71. The 71 had nowhere to go. And that caused him to go down, almost hit that inside wall. But no harm, no foul really for those drivers as they come back and regain their positions here on the track. We see Chris Otto now coming down pit road.
Howdy, Charles. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
How you doing so far today, man?
I don't know, man. I mean, we haven't really got too many laps in, so yeah, there's a little bit of contact between me and the 62, but let's see if I can bounce back from it.
Fair enough. What's going to be your plan going forward after you get that little bit of damage repaired?
I mean, just try to obviously stay out of trouble and try to get some stage points is pretty much my goal.
Fair enough. I'm going to go ahead and move you back down there so you can get back with the team. Appreciate you taking time to talk to us for a minute.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, it's not letting me move. Awesome. Try this again. Sorry about that, bud.
There he goes. All right.
I don't think I put him in the right channel. Yay.
If you need to go run to him, find out, make sure he gets in the right channel, go for it. But we're going to go ahead and get these cars all lined up. We're going to do it all over again. One thing with the pace laps around here is they go by really quick. Because I think the pit speed here, or the pace speed here is like 70, I believe. So it's pretty quick around this 1 mile speedway. And the pace car is going to go ahead and make that hard left back down onto this very unique pit road. And it's back in the hands of Joshua Grosso and Mark Gonzalez. And we are green flag racing once again. Grosso was able to clear the 45 this time. But here comes that 62 of Frank DeAngelis on the outside. He's now fighting up here for that second spot as they come down the back straightaway. DeAngelis was thrown into the car literally the last second today. And look at him out here running hard with your race. Leaders way, way wide. But that's going to give that number 23 of Grosso a better run on him on the inside. He needs to tighten up these corners or else it's not going to end too well for him, as he will fall back to that third spot. But here comes that number 45 now of Angel Hernandez. He's going to attack on the inside, that number 62. He was not able to make it happen. But DeAngelis, he will now go ahead and start to run single file, and he's going to go down to that inside lane with everybody else. Oh, big wobble. There he goes. He's around out to turn 4. Watch out, the 60 involved. The 17 into the wall as well. Commentators curse hits once again for these drivers as we start talking about them.
There was another issue in the back of the field with Chris Otto as well in the 6 car.
Well, we're definitely going to have to come back, take a look, see what happened with Chris Otto there as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look, see what happened with Chris. He's unhappy with somebody. Oh, that 51 completely missed the corner there.
How's it going, Jeff? How's your race going, bud? You got a copy?
So definitely very unfortunate there for Chris Otto in that number 6 machine. I don't know if that stemmed from something that happened a couple laps ago or not, but we're going to come back here and take a look. But no, it doesn't seem like anything happened between those two. It looks like the 51 just missed his break-in point there. Let's go ahead and go to Frank DeAngelis, go back, and we're going to take a look here and show exactly what happened, which that brought out this this caution here to as he comes out of turn number 4. He just gets on the gas, and it just did a tank slap, and that sent him around, and unfortunately that 17 goes around as well. But really good wreck avoidance by a lot of these drivers not to get involved. As just like that, we're getting ready to line them up and do it again.
Yes, it appears Casper's dragging people up here every caution again. Catching me off guard.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Gonzalez going to lead us back to the restart zone. Pace car getting ready to pull off this time.
Pace car makes that hard left onto pit road. We are back green flag racing here at the Milwaukee Mile. Once again, Mark Gonzalez gets out to a decent lead. And here comes Angel Hernandez. Joshua Grosso in that outside lane. He gets a good flying run on the outside of Hernandez. And he will pass for that second spot as Alyssa Sharp is now getting attacked on the inside by Craig Lautenslager in that number 77, as we have one car go way wide, possibly up against that outside wall, but they're going to drag race here down this. Oh, we have one car. That looks like it's going to be that number 9 of Bob Wyckoff. He got really loose coming out of turn number 4, but we're going to go back real quick, take a look, and see exactly what happened here. Yeah, he just tried to get into the gas, and everybody checked up. Once again, everybody did good at, avoiding. And that's going to bring Bob Wyckoff all the way back to that 31st spot. As we jump back up here with our race leaders, everybody's currently running single file up here. And here comes that number 16 of Michael Hoffladason. He's trying to make some moves here, as he's already gained 21 spots since we went green flag, and he's up to that 5th spot now.
Yeah, 21 spots in just a few short laps here. So, we had a few cautions already. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, man, honestly.
It's not bad at all, as these drivers are now starting to get into some sort of rhythm here at the Milwaukee Mile. As we fall back further here through the field, catching up here with Zach Phillips in that number 88 machine. He's, I believe he's filling in for somebody. So it's good to see Zach Phillips in that number 88 machine. Shane Griffin, the track is the other way, sir. Go back down to that inside lane. This track is so unique, I picked on Shane there for going way wide as they run 3 wide into turn number 3. For one, this track is very, very wide, and it is so easy to misjudge your speed. And when you go too fast, as they go 3 wide once again in front of them, contact, but something happens going on behind. Once again, that number 9 machine, I believe it was, no, that was Chris Otto in the 6. I believe he was involved in this one.
Yeah, and I do just want to note that the battle for the lead was heating up there right before that caution came out.
Yeah. All right, well, let's come back here, take a look, and see what happened. As these drivers were coming down the front straightaway, Chris Otto goes to go on the inside with a 67. Made a huge block, the 67 of David Justin. As you see a little bit of retaliation right there between the two drivers. That was a very unneeded block, I should say, for that number 67 machine. Coming down the front straight.
6 is retaliating against me, man.
Howdy, bud. It's Cutter Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
So, walk us through what happened there, man.
Well, I held my line, and 6 just plowed in the back of me, and now he's retaliating against me. So.
Fair enough. I just wanted to, get you up here and ask, are you still going to be able to continue the race? I don't know how much damage you got.
I got 7 minutes. It sucks, but I'm gonna take care of 6 though.
All right. Well, I'll move you back down there. You're in 23XL, correct, sir?
I thank you, man.
You good luck on the rest of your race.
Thanks.
I think I moved him to the right Discord. I might not have. All right, Mike. How about you say we got a commercial for a minute?
Well, we're actually getting ready to go back green flag.
Okay. I was gonna have a discussion with you for a moment, but that's okay. We'll come back to that later. I did not realize we were already ready to go back green flag. This is a very short track, So I have noticed the past few times that 23 car does seem to be having a good run catching up to the 2 here. So I think it's only a matter of time before we see him potentially pass for the lead. As we are back to green, and the 2 car getting a wonderful jump on that inside line, 23 staying on the outside and getting such a good run coming out of 2, getting really close to getting up on his bumper, and we're going to have another incident here. It looks like John Hopley.
John Hopley went around on this one.
Looked like he might have had a little bit of help from the 3 there.
Yep, let's go ahead and take a look here and see what happened. Oh, the 3 just completely missed his braking mark and just ran him right up the track.
Well, I guess let's pull Mark Gonzalez in here for an interview real quick. How do you feel about that one?
All right, let's go ahead and do that.
If I could find him real quick. There we go, Team Penske. Move to broadcast. What's going on, Mark? You got a copy? It's Dakota Mike up in the booth.
Yeah, I got a copy.
Man, you're doing a pretty good job keeping up there in that P1 position. The 23 is looking like he's trying to get a run on you, but just not having enough time between cautions. What's going to be your plan going forward to try to keep that 23 behind you?
I just want to keep the bottom. At least I can use the air to, keep the bottom clean and use that dirty air against his front nose. So anytime that he gets really close, he'll just start getting tight.
Fair enough. Mike, you got any questions for him?
No, you're just doing a phenomenal job keeping Joshua Grosso behind you at bay, and you're doing a phenomenal job up there in that number 2 Menards. And hopefully we can bring you home with your 3rd win here tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And you need to go back to Team Penske Racing, correct, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have a good one. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and line these guys up, and we're going to do it all over again. Things are about to get good, guys. Phenomenal racing so far all around.
I got a feeling things are about to get heated as we're already seeing some aggression out of these drivers early in this race.
Yeah, definitely, and we're only working lap number 35.
Up 200, right?
Yep, of 200. I mean, we still got a very long way to go.
Anything can happen, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Man, the way the pace car jerks left into the pits is just wild. It's hard left. As we are back green, and the 2 with another wonderful jump. The 23 going to stay on that outside, try to get a run and get on his bumper here. 23 is getting such a huge run through the center of the corner, but the 2 is going to have a better drive off.
Yeah, absolutely. As Jesse Gonzalez go ahead and just make his way through everybody, as Alyssa Sharp is running side by side now with Angel Hernandez for that 4th spot.
Yeah, I thought the 16 was going to take him 3 wide for a minute there.
Yeah, but this time Hernandez was able to get a better run out of turn number 4, and that allowed Michael Hoffman-Mason to get on the inside now of Sharp, and they're going to drag race down here on the back straightaway. A lot of pressure now getting applied on the back bumper of your race leader, but right now we're going to stay right here with Michael Hoffman-Mason and Alyssa Sharp in the number 16, 17 cars respectively, as we have Cody Meadows in that number 21 machine looking to go on the inside now of Sharp, and Sharp looks like she's going to lose another spot here early on in the run.
Yeah, and I believe David Justin had to come down and serve some kind of penalty or something and looped it around going into pits while he was doing so. And, you know, that's just unfortunate luck there, is that's basically tacking on another penalty on top of it.
Let's go ahead and come back here and take a look and see what happened to that number 67 machine. Just bring it down, and yeah, he just locked him up. And when he backed it up a little too far and got up on top of those, on top of the wall right there, and he was finally able to make it go. But that's going to cost him a couple of laps there. Scott Trusty in that number 8 machine, he just had some issues. Let's go back, take a look, see what happened to Scott Trusty. Not sure what happened there.
It looked like he was coming down into the pits and he hit the inside of the wall and then had some kind of radio issues.
Yeah, definitely very
unfortunate luck for a couple of these drivers trying to get down to pit road and having a couple issues.
I would have to probably take a wild guess that his screen possibly went black, because that was a very awkward movement down into the pits. Because like he totally missed the pit wall, he hit the inside wall there instead. So I think something else happened possibly.
That is very true, as you know, iRacing does have an issue with, you know, the wheel freezing sometimes, or even screen freezes, to your point.
But we're back up here currently with Mark Gonzalez and Joshua Grosso for this race lead. Right now, Grosso, he's not really trying to make any moves on your race leader, so right now I think he's just riding around.
Yeah, it kind of appears like he's just getting close enough to let him know that he's there and backing back off at the moment.
We've got a lot of movement going on back here right now with Larry Fairman and Fabrico Lamana. These guys are running side by side at the moment. Bob Wyckoff up there in the mix as well. Yellow flag as Joshua Grosso has some issues. Your second place driver had issues coming out of turn number 4. Let's go ahead and take a look here. We'll see what happened. Looked like he went to get on the gas and just gave it a little too much and back it down. Oh, he should have stayed on the brake.
That's alright, it's just a little lip tap to the wall, not a lot of damage, I wouldn't imagine. So luckily he's going to live the rest of the day, but got a feeling a couple of these drivers might opt to come down and, you know, get a set of tires or something here, as they seem to be getting a little loose.
All right. So things are going to, let's go ahead and see what's going to happen here. So far, I don't see anybody here coming down the pit road at the moment. It looks like we do have a couple cars no longer on track. One of them's Matt Mettler. He had some issues there. Not exactly sure what happened.
Mr. Mettler called in to work, I believe, so he had to leave early.
Alrighty. Will Austin in that number 43 machine, he came out for 21 laps and then was unable to bring it back out. Chris Otto, he's no longer on track. I'm not sure if he loaded up for the day or not. David Justin in that number 67 machine, he's still down on pit road getting service on his vehicle. Scott Trusty in that number 8 machine, I'm showing that he's possibly no longer in service at the moment as well. So, David Justin in that 67, I believe he just loaded up into the trailer as well.
Yeah, I mean, this, so far the racing here today has just been, seems like a little bit of a struggle bus for a couple of these drivers, as we're having a lot of issues. But hopefully it'll clean up and we can get to some good, you know, single file side by side racing possibly here towards the latter half of this race.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're going to go ahead and get these guys doubled up here again, and Michael Hoffman-Dason is going to be on the outside of Mark Gonzalez now. Let's see what Michael Hoffman-Dason can do with that number 16 machine.
Hoffman-Dason's kind of like one of those silent assassins, man. You know, he kind of appears out of nowhere and just takes advantage of some situations as he's able to. Holy cow, that 21 in the 2 was such a wonderful restart there. That 21 hung back just a little bit and got all over the bumper of the 2 and gave him a huge push.
Yeah, that was an absolute crazy start there for Cody Meadows and the number 21 and Mark Gonzalez, your race leader, as they will run 3 wide behind them. Oh, 17 gets hard into the 23 as there is going to be major contact back here.
Looks like Josh Grosso involved in that one and possibly Alyssa as well.
Yeah, Alyssa is the one that shot up into that number 23 of Grosso. Not exactly sure what exactly happened, but as they coming down here towards turn number 3, looks like the number 88 there of Zach Phillips got on the inside of Alyssa, and he missed his braking point just a little bit, and that made him go up into Alyssa, and fortunately Alyssa went up hard into that number 23 machine of Grosso, and Alyssa will come back down, and she will collect that number. Who's that? The 35 machine.
Yeah, the 35 of Shane Griffin.
Shane Griffin, yeah, very unfortunate there for Shane. Just really nowhere to go in that one. Mark Gonzalez, your race leader, he's going to go ahead and come down pit road to get some service done on his vehicle.
Just unfortunate luck. You know, I think it's a little too early to be trying to send it 3 wide at this type of track. I mean, these drivers are still trying to get their bearings and figure out like how to run this track properly with, you know, with the dirty air and such. And we're not getting very many green flag laps to do so. So sending it 3 wide like that is just never going to be a smart move this early in a race.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. The 51, Dylan Lansdale, I believe he is going to be your lucky dog on this caution. And we're going to line up these guys up, and we're going to do it all over again with the 21 on the inside, Hoffman-Dason to the outside, Angel Hernandez to the inside of the number 77 of Craig Lautenslager.
Hernandez has been kind of like back and forth up here towards the front, but not been able to get to the lead quite yet. But I got a feeling we're going to be seeing him make a couple moves once we get, you know, another set of tires on these cars.
These guys got to remember, I believe we only have 4 sets of tires, so with some of these drivers already coming down, you know, 6-7 times to get damage on their cars repaired, hopefully they're not taking tires either. All right, into the restart zone. And we are green flag. Once again, really good start there by Cody Meadows. Oh, the 77 gets turned, and that's going to cause mayhem behind him. Oh, Craig Lautenslager out of Nelson, New Zealand, got turned heading down into turn number 1. Looks like Christian Delgado was also involved in this one. Let's go back here, take a look as we went green flag. looks like that 77 possibly went to try to stop Delgado from getting around him, and that shot Delgado up hard into the outside wall. The 88 involved here as well. The 47 gets turned off the front nose of the 9, but thanks to the 77 being there, they're going to keep going straight. Just very unfortunate for a lot of these drivers in this issue, but the hardest hit that we had in this one was Christian Delgado in that number 12 machine, as was sitting up against the outside wall, but was able to get a tow back down here to pits. So very unfortunate there for Delgado in that number 12 machine.
Yeah, and the 47 and the 9 getting involved as well, and the 9 coming down and clipping the 44. I mean, a lot more people involved in that incident than I initially thought.
Yeah.
See if I can find Cody Meadows and get him up here for an interview since he's in the lead. I'm not. There he is. Drag him up here right quick. What's going on, Cody? It's Dakota and Mike up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Now that you've finally gotten up to that lead, what do you got to do to keep it?
From what I've been told, tire management's the go-to here. These short tracks are unpredictable, same as super speedways, so it's just head down, stay up front, and pray for the best.
Fair enough. Well, I appreciate you taking time to do a quick interview during the caution. You're getting ready to go back green, so I'm maybe back. And what Discord channel was you in, so I can make sure you go back to the correct one?
Team Penske.
All right, brother. Have a good one, and good luck on your first. Keep in first place.
10-4, bub.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 21 machine, Cody Meadows. All right, we're going to go ahead and get that pace car to crank it down. And once again, we're going to get back into the restart zone. And we're going to go back green flag racing. And once again, that 21 gets off to an incredible start. That 45 is on the inside of Hoffendason as they will dive down here into turn number 1. As everybody's starting to get doubled up here nice and tight coming out of turn number 2. And we're looking to go 3 wide back here with Dylan Smith, Bob Wyckoff, and that 44, but they will go ahead and just take it up double file as that number 7 machine now. Dylan Smith continuing to work his way forward, just got past Parker Stranded as, the 7 gets turned down into the pits.
Oh, the 16 making a hard move to the inside of the 21 as well for the lead. He's even on the apron trying to get around him. Getting the better drive off as the 21 is going to get into the wall, and the 16 is still going to maintain the inside lane here, going into 3 and 4 this time. 21 was such a better entry, though, and that's going to allow for the 45 to get on the back bumper. The 16 had to check up. 16 getting a huge drive off the corner. Oh, he got loose.
And while these guys are duking it out, we're going to go back and see what happened to Dylan Smith coming out of turn number 4. He got into the gas and it just jumped sideways on him, and he just went down to the pits and hit that inside that pit wall a ton.
Just to recap that restart there, 21 got a really good jump, and the 16 kind of held the 45 down to that inside lane and got such a wonderful drive off that he was able to shoot down to the inside of the 21 in the next corner. And boy, was he using every part of the apron to try to get around 21 there.
And that 44 of Fabricio, I don't know if it's Fabricio or Fabricio, but Lamana, he just went extremely sideways down into turn number 1. Let's go back real quick and take a look as he got off the front of that number 9 machine of Bob Wyckoff. Both drivers just trying to take up the same real estate. As we come back live, let's see here.
Yeah, I think someone might have blew a motor in the pits because I just heard a gunshot go off in my ear.
It was probably going to be that number 7 machine of Dylan Smith as Christian Delgado already blew his motor when he hit that wall head on just a couple cautions ago.
And we have another caution out. I believe that might be for stage this time.
Yep, lap 60 is your stage. Alrighty, so your top 10 at the moment: Cody Meadows, Michael Hoffengason, Angel Hernandez, Kyle Benson, Charles Roberson, Justin Johnson making his way up towards the front, Joey Maines, Steven Sire, Parker Strandit, Kyle Williams, and Parker Strandit is your top 10. Man, what a day so far. We've ran 60 laps, and it's been a very interesting day so far for a lot of these drivers.
Yeah, 60 laps in, and this is starting to seem like it's going to turn into an endurance race and who can keep their temper in check, because as we pulled a couple drivers up here for interviews early, we could already tell they were getting pretty heated.
Yeah, definitely. As you see the entire field start coming down pit road.
Except for that 47, he's going to stay out and get a lap back, I believe.
Yeah, so we do have a couple drivers who are going to stay out because they just came down not too long ago. So we have Larry Fairman, Dylan Lansdale, Chris Van Mastert, Brian Treadwell, Cody Meadows, and Angel Hernandez. All those drivers will stay out. And the one to get it to come off pit road first is going to be that number 16 of Michael Hoffengason.
Because apparently Christian Delgado decided to join us up in the booth. Christian, you got a copy?
Got you guys.
How's it going, bud?
Oh, well, not as good as we'd like to. Obviously, I think we're done here, so fortunately just got caught up in a restart incident, I think, so.
Yeah, was that you that blew a motor a moment ago? That was I just randomly heard while you were sitting on pits.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I had a good run. I had my teammate Cody counting me down and got a good jump on the 77. He just kind of came across my nose going into one, and fortunately he wrecked us out. But yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, how is this going to affect your plan going into next week?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, no, I'm not going to get stage points at all. So, also, obviously, the 77 also got wrecked out as well. But I don't know. Like, well, I guess we'll just have to see going into next week where the points are. I mean, obviously, we know now we kind of have to win these next couple of weeks of the playoffs. So.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sorry to bother you, and I'm sorry for your unfortunate luck, but I'm going to go ahead and move you back down to your team chat, and we'll look forward to talking with you next week, hopefully under better circumstances.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, pace car is back in, and that was driver of that number 12 of Christian Delgado for Team Penske. As Lansdale and Fairman, well, they will bring the field to the green as they are already stacked up 3 wide right behind them for that 3rd spot. But here comes Hoffengason in that number 16 machine. He's now attacking on the inside of Lansdale, and he'll get a better run heading down into turn number 1. And now he's going to try to get his eyes set on Larry Fairman as these guys behind them go just about 4 wide out of turn number 3. Nope, they're going to go sing back down double. Watch out. The 5 and 60 almost made contact. Heavy braking by a lot of these drivers down into the corner as they will go 3 wide out of turn number 2 here once again. One driver falling way back, and that looks like it's going to be Kyle Williams in that number 11 machine. He's going to fall back a couple more spots as we keep an eye here on Parker Strandit in that number 41 machine as the action in front of him is getting dicey. That 51 Dylan Lansdale, makes a hard left turn down pit road. Well, that was very crazy. That could have been disaster.
Yeah, while all this has happened, Michael Hoffengason has taken over the lead currently and putting a little bit of a gap to second place at Kyle Benson as Larry Fairman is going to drop back to 3rd.
Kyle Benson in that number 16 Black's Tire Chevrolet here for Colleague Racing. You know, they're doing a wonderful job out front currently. You know, just chilling out.
Kyle Benson's in second.
Yep.
Michael Hoff Dason's in first.
Yeah, wait.
You
did I say-
said Kyle Benson in first.
Oh my God, Kyle Hoffladason
Mike.
in that number 16 machine, in the Black's Tires Chevrolet for Colleague.
Get it together, Mike.
Kyle Benson for RCR in that number 33. He is second. And then running third currently is going to be Charles Roberson in that Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, as the battle behind them are getting heated up between Larry Fairman and Joey Maines, as they will come down the back straightaway here.
Yeah, Larry seems like he's struggling a little bit. He's already lost 4 positions since the restart.
Well, you got to remember he's running on just about 23, 24 older tires than everybody else. So Larry, yeah, so Fairman, he's going to continue to drop. And I think he may drop until he gets right back to that 13th spot where Thaddeus Friel is, as he has 4 lap older tires than Fairman. So it's going to be very interesting to see how long Larry will hold on here, as they will now work their way through turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, and Kyle Benson's starting to reel in our leader, Michael, at the moment, and looking really good on that bottom line. As Michael is running a little bit higher on 1 and 2, but Kyle is running really deep on the bottom, going into the entries here.
As we go ahead and ride on board here with Jeff Weimer in that number 60 machine. He's hanging out back here in that 8th spot, just trying to keep his nose pretty clean.
Yeah, only down 4 spots since the start of this race, and I mean, that's not too bad considering, you know, he's not really been pushing from the looks of it, like we were talking about, just kind of chilling.
Yeah, he's one of those drivers that likes to chill out. He doesn't like to cause any issues. But when it comes down to it at the end of this race, you know, that's when he really becomes very aggressive, and that's when he likes to start making his moves. And so it's going to be very interesting to see here what Jeff Weimer's going to do, as Mike Iskandar is having issues in that number 1 machine, as he will pull away from the front straightaway incident. Just another case of getting loose out of turn 4. Back it down. Oh, hard contact there, and the 3 will go around. That's 3 of Philip Manzo, but he'll do a good 360 and catch a gear and pull away as well. So a lot of these drivers having issues getting out of turn number 4, and this is just what's going to stack these guys up here once again.
Alrighty. So that was probably either the longest green flag run we've had so far, or the second longest, I would say. And these drivers got spread out quite a bit. So if they're able to do that again, I potentially see a good green flag run coming here.
Oh, definitely is. You know, these drivers are all doing a phenomenal job at, you know, trying to make everything work for them.
As it appears, the 77 is going to be taking the Lucky Dog this time. Let me double check on that. Yeah, the 77, who still has monumental damage to the front of his car at the moment, of Craig Lautenslager, is getting the Lucky Dog.
Yeah, that's definitely something that Craig wanted right there. You know, unfortunately, you know, for Craig, you know, he's still got some damage to him, but you just give him time and he'll make his way back towards the front. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of
speaking
time.
of damage, man, I've never seen the damage model on these cars look like that. I've never seen the front bumper come off like that. I've seen the fenders, the hood, all that come off, but never the front bumper like that. That is such a weird look.
Yeah, definitely a very weird look. As it's not normal, you know, for these cars to be looking the way that they look, but at the end of the day, you know,
Dylan Lansdale crashed. Let me check that real quick.
take a look and see what happened there for me.
Looks like he just stopped to let somebody by. No harm, no foul.
Yeah, as we're getting ready to go back green flag racing here once again.
Yeah, Michael and number 16 going to be leading us back to the green. He's done such a wonderful job since he has got to the lead. I mean, he did have pretty good speed, you know, earlier when he was running P2, but now that he's in the lead with that clean air, he's done such a wonderful job as he gets a really good restart there, rocketed by the 33. Ooh, sweet. He's coming out of 2. The 48 was all over the back of the 20 there for a moment. The 20 is able to get a bit drive off. As you see here, the 16 and the 33, you know, the 33 is trying to maintain this gap as the 16 got a wonderful restart there as they're coming out of 4 this time, and he's making up quite a bit of time as he got a lot better drive off than the 16. As you see, these drivers are using every bit of the track that they can, running slightly different lines. You know, some people like to do what's called the diamond. It's where you enter low, go high in the middle. And some people like to go high, low, high instead of low, high, low. It's just a little bit of a different line, but both work the same as they allow for you to get decent drives off the corner. But it does seem like the diamond is working better in 1 and 2, and the, you know, high, low, high is working better in 3 and 4, as you can see here with the 16 and the 33 at the moment.
Yeah, as we come back up here, jumping back to the field a little bit here, to right about where Angel Hernandez and number 45 is, as he is currently running hard here with Steven Sire, and number 34 Larry Fairman up here. You know, these guys are running pretty hard at the moment, you know, trying not to let the other car get too far out in front. As we see a good battle back here now for Parker Stranded and 11 of Kyle Williams. As we have one driver totally miss turn 1 and go high up into the corner, but he'll not hit the wall and he's going to continue on.
Yeah, and it's very interesting watching some of these drivers using the curb and all just to try to get around this track, because that could potentially make your, you know, you could potentially catch it the wrong way and get up on 2 wheels and get loose.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, as we come back here to John Hopley in that number 4 who had issues early on, he's slowly starting to make his way back through the field along with Bob Wyckoff in that number 9. As you see, Wyckoff and Lautenschlager both lock up the tires getting into turn 1 there. You know, these cars are still running pretty hard here, trying to make their way back towards the front of this field, as the 4 is now going on the inside of Philip Manzo in that number 3 machine for RCR. And he's going to come out of turn number 4, and he has his eyes set on Brian Treadwell in that number 78 machine.
As it sits right now, I think we have about 9 drivers that are currently packed up in the hauler. So we're still working with 27 drivers, which is not bad for the amount of cautions we've had early in this race.
Yeah, definitely. As you see, Danny Solo right there on the back of Thaddeus Friel. However, that 10 of Solo, he is a lap down, so he's just trying to make his way through the field, try to see if he can catch the leaders to get a lap back. But he's also got to be careful, you know, because if he can get around the 1 as the 47 and 44 touch in turn 3. But if Solo can catch that number 1 of Iskandar, he may be able to be the car, you know, the first car lap down. But he's got to keep his nose clean.
Yeah, as Kyle Benson was able to get around the 16 and Michael, within the past couple laps here and take over our race lead. And the two of Mark Gonzalez back up into that third spot, working his way back up, trying to get back into the front of this thing, because that is where he started.
Yeah, definitely. Mark Gonzalez is obviously showing that, he can flex his muscles around this 1 mile track of Milwaukee Mile. Just what a phenomenal job he has done to, come down pit road, get some fresh tires on his race car, and he's slowly but surely making his way back up to the front as he gets right to the back bumper of Hofladeson now. Getting down into turn number 3, Hofladeson was able to pull away a little bit there in the corner, but don't look now. But Gonzalez, he's going to stay right there on that back bumper. He's not going to let him get too far out.
Take a moment to say that Race Chatter apparently said the 51 to Lansdale pulled a Todd Dillon at Las Vegas moment. That was a couple minutes ago that I did miss that one, but
yeah, the 51 was in the middle of the track, decided that he was going to come down to pit road and just cut across the whole entire field. He was probably about 3/4 of the way up the track and decided that he's going to just yank it down pit road.
hey, fair enough. But you ever seen that meme that says "I turn left now, good luck everybody else"?
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, fair enough.
As Michael Hofladeson's starting to fall back a little bit here. It's like he's lost a little bit of pace, and Kyle Benson's really putting it on everybody at the moment, as he's got about a second gap to second place. And Mark Gonzalez is reeling that 16 in at the moment.
Yeah, Mark Gonzalez is kind of stalled right there back behind that driver, so he's still trying to, work his way around, but just you give him time, he'll be able to make something happen.
And I just want to point out that 77 to Craig, even with all the front end damage, is still running pretty decent lap times. As he's looking to get around the 3 potentially here.
Yeah, the draft isn't that really huge here. This is a 1 mile track, but the front straightaways are not as long as New Hampshire is. So you're not on this front straightaway as long. So that's where the draft really doesn't, that's where this track is more like a short track compared to a intermediate track, like what New Hampshire is classified as.
Yeah, but let's break down the 77 here for a minute. Look how much deeper he's able to drive it into the corner compared to the 3, which he is losing out on a little bit of straightaway speed because he's missing the entire front clip of his nose. But just watch how deep he's able to drive it into these corners here and gain back the time he loses. It's insane.
Yeah, definitely, insane for sure. But just give him time. He'll come back and make it work.
Oh yeah, especially if he gets that front clip back on the front of the car there. I got no, harm in saying I think he's going to be up in the top 5 before the end of the race if he's able to get that damage repaired.
Oh, absolutely.
As I'm looking through the field, second place about a second back from our leader, third place about a second back from our leader, but fourth place back over 4 to 5 seconds apiece. As these front 3 are really putting on a show for us here, and it looks like we have another yellow flag and an incident with Steven Sire.
Yeah, caution will come out here once again. That pulled up here in just a moment. This is going to be for Steven Sire in that number 5 machine. Let's take a look here.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what happened there. The 78 of Treadwell kind of looking a little slow up in the wall for a moment, and looks like he just started coming down the track and got into the 5 and spun him around.
I wonder if something happened a little bit before that that we did not see. Can you go back and take a look for that for me?
Yeah, give me one moment here. Is that just very interesting right there? Okay, so I went back and it looks like coming out of turn 4, the lap prior, the 78's a little off pace. The 21 gets loose and puts him into the inside wall. 78 gets back going and is still off pace here, and then that incident happened with him and the other car just a moment ago. So he might have had a little bit of damage to the front of his car that was not allowing him to turn properly.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate there. Definitely not.
Yeah, as you
nothing
can
malicious
see,
there.
after he got into the 5, he wasn't even able to turn to make it into 3 and 4 that time. So I'm thinking he had a lot of front end damage.
As I'm coming back here to take a look on the entry of turn 3, it hits that wall a ton. Okay, I wonder if he was broke before then too.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Let me see if he's in the Discord. We might be able to ask him there.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
definitely
seeing
very
him
interesting.
in the voice channel. I think the front end of his car was a little messed up, but once he got back going, he seemed like he was able to get around the track there. I'm not quite sure what was going on. Ah, it says Craig Lautenslager crash. Let me check on that one.
It looks like he was he just stopped to allow the field to go by, it looked like.
Yeah, no harm, no fouls. That is the best thing to do, as it does register as a wreck. That's why if you stop on the track when it's one to go, it'll extend the yellow.
Yep. So green flag is back out in the air, and Kyle Benson in that number 33 out to the race lead, and Mark Gonzalez still hanging strong on that outside with Michael Hoffledason still trying to get around him on the inside, not able to make it happen as they dive down here into turn number 3. So currently your race leaders, Benson, Gonzalez, Hoffledason will run single foul as everybody else is going to double up right behind them.
Yeah, and I mean, Gonzalez starting on the pole today, and I believe he went to the pits and lost a few spots and working his way back up to the front. He's had a pretty fast hot rod all day today.
Yeah, definitely a very fast race car underneath of Gonzalez. That Penske organization always brings Gonzalez really good race cars. As Philip Manzo, he goes around into the outside wall in turn number 3. Let's take a look and see what happened to that Morgan & Morgan machine out of turn number 2. Heading down here to turn number 3. Just the 51 just didn't check up, and as much as the 3 did, and Sire barely squeezes by on the outside. But that's very unfortunate there for Philip Manzo in that number 3 getting turned, heading down into turn number 3.
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna be a little blunt and honest here. I think a couple of these drivers need to take a chill pill and take a few moments to relax and get a few laps in here, as they're being hyper aggressive going into some of these corners, and it's causing a lot of issues and causing more people to get heated. And they're going to gain more spots if we have green flag runs versus just having constant caution laps,
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, we're just, 3 laps now away, or 4 laps now away from that halfway mark. And we're already working caution. Let me take a quick look here.
And, I know these guys can do it. This
13.
is a good group of guys. This is a good group of guys, some very good racers in here. I think we're just getting a little hot-headed, and they need to take time to take a breather and chillax for a moment and let a few laps fly by. That way they can make a little bit of movement towards the front of this field here.
Yeah, absolutely. As this field's going to go ahead and come back around turns 3 and 4 and double up. You know, this group, you know, this isn't normal for these guys. You know, you know, these guys, they race with each other all year round, and you know, it's just like real NASCAR. You know, these guys know how each other run, and just some days you have good races, some days you have bad, and just unfortunately, today is just one of those days that we're already working our 13th caution. You know, I think we've already surpassed our average cautions.
Yeah, we're not even over with stage 2 yet.
Okay, so our average caution at the start was only 6 cautions, and we've already doubled that this time around. So, you know, these guys, you know, they know how to get around this track. It's just one of those days, I guess, for these drivers. So, I mean, we're not going to bash them or anything. You know,
No, I'm not bashing anybody by any means.
Yeah. You know, just unfortunately, it happens. You have your good days, your bad days. But we're going to get ready to go back green flag racing here once again. Benson on the inside, Gonzalez to the outside, Hoffley-Dason and Roberson making his way back up to that 4th spot. And we are into restart zone. Green flags out once again. Good jump there by Benson. Mark Gonzalez hanging tough on the outside. Here comes Hoffley-Dason looking to take over that 2nd spot as they dive down here into turn number 1. He will get him almost clear, but here comes Gonzalez fighting back to that outside.
And I believe we are closing in on the end of stage 2 here, so we might see, you know, some battling to try to get as many stage points as possible out of these top 10 drivers.
Our awesome flagman, he's holding up the X symbol with the flag, so indicating halfway this time by. So now we've still got 100 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, and just about 20 laps. We're going to have our next stage break. So we still got a long way to go here, 100 miles. So just, you know, we got to try to get these guys to take a breather, relax, and, you know, let's get a decent, good green run flag here as we see Hoffley-Dason working hard on that inside of Gonzalez. He will clear him out of turn 4. And that's something that we haven't seen really much all day, is somebody actually being able to muscle their way around Gonzalez in that number 2 Menards machine. As you see Roberson going all the way down onto the curbing down there to get the best he could, but he slipped back, and now he's got his mirror full of Joey Maines in that number 48 Ally Chevrolet. Let's jump back here to Chris Van Master and John Hopley back here for that 15th spot. Both of these drivers are swapping position a couple times already, as you see John Hopley getting down hard into the corner. Van Master, he did lock up the brakes getting into the corner. And right in front of him, Larry Fairman, he's doing a pretty decent job back here with Fabricio Lamana in that number 44 machine. These guys racing pretty hard. And right in front of them, they got Cody Meadows in that number 21. Really good racing back here for right about that 11th spot. You know, these guys, you know, they're not letting each other get too far away. So all these guys are doing a phenomenal job at the moment.
Yeah, and I mean, Cody Meadows getting involved in something earlier. I believe he looked it around or something and lost a lot of spots there. And he's working his way back up, trying to get into the top 10 for some stage points here at the end of the stage. But for the moment, it's kind of looking like Kyle Benson might be putting on a clinic here for the end of stage 2, as he's already put on his full 2nd gap on 2nd and 3rd place.
Yeah, definitely these guys doing a phenomenal job, you know, keeping pace and everything. Right now, Gonzalez, he's now working at that outside lane once again of Hoffley-Dason. Not able to make it any good moves there just yet, but he's not giving up just yet. So just you give him time, he'll be back up towards the front here.
Yeah, and I mean, as eventful as the first two stages have been, we are starting to get more and more green flag runs here. So, what do you think we're looking forward to in the third stage?
In the third stage, I'm anticipating a lot of really good green flag racing at this point. You know, sometimes it just takes a little bit for the drivers to go, okay, now we got to relax, and now it's going to be go time. And that's exactly what I'm anticipating on seeing here, you know, as this race goes on. Now these guys are really doing a phenomenal job, you know, minding their P's and Q's at the moment. Let's run through the field here, see if we can find some decent action going on. And it come back here to Fabricio and that number 44 with that 41 of Parker Stranded right behind him. And followed by Larry Fairman, and then right in front of them, they've still got Kyle Williams and Cody Meadows. So we got a decent battle back here for right around now that 9th spot. The 11 machine, Kyle Williams, goes way high in turn number 3. That allowed Jeff Weimer to quickly get around him. And that has Cody Meadows get right back to the back bumper of that number 11 of Kyle Williams as they dive down here into turn number 1. As we are going to come around to 90 laps to go next time by. Right now, looking through the field, this is our closest battle right here for that 8th spot all the way back to the 12th spot. So these 4, 5, 6 drivers right here, these guys are doing a pretty decent job at battling it out. And right now it's being led by that number 60 machine of Jeff Weimer. Weimer is doing a phenomenal job in that Roush Fenway Kozlowski machine. As the number 21 for Wood Brothers, he's making a look now to the inside of Williams, and he's going to go ahead and complete the pass here in turn number 1, and Williams will go ahead and quickly get back into single file formation as they hit the back straightaway.
Yeah, and the racing really cleaned up the past few laps apparently, and these drivers are making some really good, you know, calm passes here, and it's leading to some very good racing as the 21, you know, making his way up into that top 10 in the 9th spot now. Kyle Williams is currently sitting P10 like you were saying a moment ago, and the battling back here has been very good between these drivers.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, this is exactly the kind of, you know, racing we really like to see out of these drivers. So, you know, they're still making, you know, still biding their time as they move along.
Yeah, as we got about 6 to go until the end of stage 2. I mean, you know, these points really do matter and they do add up. So, making sure you can finish within the top 10 to get that extra, even if it's 10th just for one stage point, that could make the difference on you getting into the next round.
Yeah, definitely. It makes a world of a difference, you know, because we are in the playoffs. You know, this is the first round of 12. You know, in 2 races, we're going to knock out, you know, 4 more drivers, you know, for the final 3 races. And then once we get to the season finale over in, I believe it's Texas, that's when we're going to see only 4 drivers duking it out for the race win there. So, I mean, right now, every position, every point counts, because at this rate, you know, at this rate, this is where it all lays down on the line. And a lot of our playoff drivers have been having a lot of issues here.
Ooh, it looked like the 44 almost missed the corner there, and now allowed for the 10 to get by him as well, which I believe the 10 is a lap down on fresh tires at the moment. But he really missed that corner, almost got onto the 11, but able to save it and continue his run here in P11.
Yeah, Danny Solo, he is just about 2 laps down, if I'm not mistaken. And, you know, as he's trying to make his way back towards you know, the leaders to get at least one of his laps back as he works on the inside of Kyle Williams now. You know, with these fresh tires, you know, the question is how hard do you want to run, and, you know, how much do you want to try to save some of these tires for the end? But as of right now, I don't think he's holding back. He's running really fast, consistent laps.
Yeah, but with there only being about 3 laps to the stage, I mean, I would probably be saving them tires as much as I can and just taking a wave around to get a lap back here.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree with that.
As Kyle Benson's actually getting ready to go by the one car here. One car is going to be fighting back on the outside, but just going to be, unfortunately, going to lap down here of Michael Iskandar, sorry. I butchered your name. I very much apologize there. But Michael Iskandar, it seems like he's having a little bit of issues here, but he will be the lucky dog as we have about 1 lap left to the stage.
Yeah, Mike Iskandar getting into a little bit of trouble early on, and he's trying to get his laps turned around, but so far nothing really has been able to happen for him. As your second and third place drivers, Michael Hofdason and Gonzalez, these two are still duking it out hard for that second spot.
And as it sits right now, it looks like Kyle Benson's going to be the winner of our stage currently. And looks like Michael and Mark are going to be second and third here.
Yeah, this next time by, we should see the caution flag. Oh, there it is right there, ladies and gentlemen. And that's going to bring out the end of stage number 2 right here at the Milwaukee Mile. Your top 10, Kyle Benson, Michael Hofdason, Mark Gonzalez, Charles Roberson, Angel Hernandez, Justin Johnson, Joey Maines, Cody Meadows, Jeff Weimer, and Kyle Williams in that number 11. We'll round out your top 10. All those gentlemen getting bonus points for this time around.
Yeah, and as we're going to have a little under 80 to go, as, you know, we go back green flag here, possibly like 78, 77 laps, these drivers will have to make 1 pit stop if this does go green the entire way. I believe.
I think you're just about right.
And, I mean, that's going to play into some strategies. You might see some people go in a little early to try to make up some time, and you might see people go in really late to try to have the freshest tires on the last few laps of the run.
Absolutely. As you see the drivers coming out of turn number 4, and they're all going to make that hard left down onto pit road, except that number 1 of Mike Iskandar. He will be our lucky dog, and he's going to get the wave by. He's going to come around and get 4 fresh tires. Right now, only your lead lap cars are allowed to come into the pits.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull Mike up here for an interview real quick, as he just did get like a dog there. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's cool. Let's get Mike Iskandar up here.
Hey, bud, you got a copy? Just got our mic up in the booth.
Hello.
Hey, bud, you just got the lucky dog after going a lap down there, and, you know, you're going to be able to get 4 fresh stickers here to start towards the back of the field. What's going to be your plan in this final stage?
I have damage right now, so I get that repaired.
Fair enough. If you're able to get that damage repair, you think you're going to be able to make a drive towards the front of the field?
I hope so.
It's 10-4. Well, I'm going to let you get back to it, and we, you know, we hope we get the interview here towards the end of the race. Maybe you get some good luck coming your way, and you're able to get into the top 3.
Yeah, the last accident I was in, I got loose and I got hit. And I got 1 minute more repairs to do.
Well, that's not too bad. As a couple of people we brought up here earlier, I believe, had about 7 to 10 minutes of damage, and they were having a pretty rough time. At least you seem like you're in a, you know, not in the worst mood about it. You're keeping a level headed, you know.
I try to.
That's about the best you can do. Is, you know, you go in here and you start driving with anger, and it tends to cause more issues.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm gonna go ahead and move you back to your Discord if you don't mind me asking. Which server do I need to move you to?
Trackhouse.
All right. Well, good luck, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, driving that number 1 of Busch Ford, Chevrolet, Mike Iskandar, as field's going to come through turns 3 and 4 here once again. And we're going to go green flag racing, so Iskandar has a lot of catching up to do. He's not going to be able, he'll probably be down on the back stretch. but it looked like he was able to get all that damage fixed. He's away, and we're going back green flag racing here once again. Kyle Betts on the outside gets an incredible run, but here comes Hoffler to the inside, making it 3 wide, as he is going to fight his way up next to Gonzalez now for that second spot, as they will drag race down the back stretch for that second spot.
Yeah, it looked like they made a small amount of contact there on the exit of the corner, but both drivers were able to hold it strong. And oh, the 16 missed the corner and got into the 2, and that's going to be a caution.
Everybody kept it straight. Everybody was able to keep it straight. That was really good driving amongst a lot of these drivers. Let's go back here, take a look, see what happened. As contact between Gonzalez, I believe it was Gonzalez, and the 16 Hoffler-Dason. Hoffler-Dason totally misses the corner, goes up into the side of the 2. The 2 gets into the wall. That 20 machine, what good heads up driving by him. Actually, let's go and let's go right on board with that number 20 machine. So they come down here, down the back straight away. Not hitting the wall, not hitting Gonzalez. What an incredible drive.
Yeah, luckily he didn't get no damage, but unfortunately that is going to eat his front tires up. Because this new tire model, you know, you slide just a little bit and it will eat away at your tires very quickly. But what a hell of a save there, and what a job to not get into the back of Gonzalez.
Yeah, definitely. As Frank DeAngelis in that number 62, he will finally get his wave back around on that 45 Chevrolet. So that's going to bring him back up into our lead lap. You know, that number 62 was really fast at the start of this race, has drifted back after having some issues. So hopefully Frank can go ahead and get his luck turned around here. And this is actually Frank's debut race here at Milwaukee with the ISNF series.
No, operator caution, you know, me and you are going to be switching over to the Xfinity side of things coming up here soon, and I look forward to seeing what these drivers can do in those cars. It's you know, it's a little bit of a different ballgame. They drive almost completely different, but the same. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk about switching up, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, when we head over to Kentucky, I will not be up here in the booth, but I'm going to be handing the reins over to Dakota, as he will make his broadcasting debut here on the the iCast Racing Network here for the ISNF series. So I'm really excited to be able to hand it over to you, Dakota, and look forward to seeing what you can do while I will be out of town for that evening.
Yeah, man's going on vacation to the Bahamas. No, just playing.
I am actually going to go see Jeff Dunham.
Ooh,
As we are going back green flag racing here at Milwaukee. What a decent start there by Benson. Gonzalez quickly getting back in line. And here comes Roberson working on the inside of Williams for that third spot.
It looked like he got onto them rebel strips and just got a little loose there towards the exit.
Oh, the 41!
Oh, that was a big impact. Oh.
Very, very unfortunate there for Parker, stranded in that number 41 machine. As you see smoke now piling out of the back end of his machine. Not exactly sure what happened there, but let's go back, take a look. As things got cranking out here real quick, heading down into turn number 3. Just a 3
Yeah.
wide.
I think that maybe the 41 didn't know that they were 3 wide and went to go turn in like he thought the 44 was going to go to the bottom and spun himself off the 44's nose. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, and just unfortunately that 41 hitting the those tire barriers at the end of the wall. So luckily he hit them there and not about 10, 15 feet before that. That would have been disaster for that number 41 machine. But he will go ahead and come back around. Very heavy damage to that 41, and I think that just might put an end to the day of Parker stranded in that number 41 machine. As it stands right now, Mike Iskandar in that number 1 machine, he is going to be your lucky dog for the next caution again. So he did stay down pit road that last time he was the lucky dog, and he will get the lucky dog again here and go back green flag racing.
And man, I mean, we still got a pretty good ways to go, and I'm gonna be very interested to see if Mark Gonzalez is gonna be able to get around Kyle Benson in these next few laps here. Is Mark Gonzalez has been doing a really good job, trying to stay up to him. Just hasn't had the time to try to get a good run to get around him. Benson's getting such a good restart, it's allowing for Gonzalez to have so much room to just drop down there. Oh, we had a little bit of contact back there. It looked like the 48 got into hopping there. As Kyle Benson is going into the pits. Not sure what happened there. It looks like he might be serving some type of a black flag.
He probably got a jumping the start, as that was a drive-through there for Kyle Benson, that number 33 machine. So that was a drive-through for jumping the start on that restart. So he went a tad bit early as they run 3 wide now out of turn number 4, back there with that number 48, the 20 and the 16 machine.
Allow for the 2, and Mark Gonzalez taking the lead this race, and Cody Meadows up into that 2nd spot. Awful Dason making his way back up into that 4th spot after that earlier incident as well.
Yeah, a couple of these drivers really flexing their muscles, showing what they got.
But quite unfortunate luck there for Kyle Benson with that black flag, because that's going to drop him all the way back to that 17th spot. He's definitely going to be having a mountain to climb, as the saying goes. As on my onboard here, I just seen the 11 lock it up going into 3 and 4 there, and that's going to allow for the 16 to pull away and potentially the 20 to get around, and maybe even the 48 here.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate there for that number 11. Just locking it up, once you lock them up, you got to let your tires, cool off again before you can really go at it hard. And as of right now, he's pushed it way hard. He's going to go way wide, almost up to that outside wall. But he's going to come back and run side by side now with that number 60 machine of Jeff Weimer.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to show you let my tires cool off.
Well, sometimes these drivers do that to us as we come back. Just a little bit here to John Hopley in that number 4. He's being attacked by that lap down car, Steven Sire.
Yeah, there's a couple of these lap down cars are really fighting to try to, get the lucky dog position here. As we have yellow flag out, and Chris Van Maastricht has crashed from the looks of it.
Chris Van Maastricht and Fabricio Lamana both having issues. Let's go back, take a look, see what happened. Now just coming out of turn number 4, the 38 slipped up, or the 44 really got a good run there. And that causes the 38 to go right in front of the 47, and I believe that's the number 8 machine there. No, that's going to be the number 99 machine. And then something happened a little bit later with Fabricio.
Yeah, it looks like he just pulled over and went to the pits. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, definitely not sure, but a lot of unfortunate stuff there for a lot of these drivers. And Steven Sire in the number 5, he will be the lucky dog for this time.
Man, Mark Gonzalez and Cody Meadows in that 1-2 spot. And, last time Cody Meadows was up here, he was able to get a rocketing start on that outside line to take over the lead.
Yeah, this caution here is definitely going to help out Kyle Benson in that number 33 machine. Now he can really start to make his way back to the front of this field. So now with that, getting that out of the way, what's going to be the mindset of the number 2 and 21 on this restart?
No, honestly, if I'm the 21, I'm going to try to match the 2 and get behind him as soon as possible so we are single file. That way, me and him can pull away from everyone else. If I'm the 2, I'm just going to mash the gas and send it.
Yeah, it definitely is. And he wants to make sure when he hits the gas, it's going to be right there at that restart line, because that's what, bit the number 33 of Kyle Benson, that last restart. So he definitely wants to be mindful of that as these guys approach the restart zone.
And, these drivers, these 2 are really going to want to work together, try to get away from Hoffeldason, as he's been really not necessarily aggressive, but looking to make moves to get to the front of this field.
Yeah, Hoffeldason.
And he's also a very quick hot rod himself.
Yeah, the Hoffledinger in that number 16 machine is definitely, wicked fast, as both leaders jumped at the same exact time. And that's going to allow Meadows to get down in front of Hoffledinger as they come out of turn number 2 now. But that's not going to stop Hoffledinger from trying to make a run on that number 21 of Cody Meadows.
Yes, the top 3 have already put a pretty decent, gap to 4th place at the moment of Charles. And like I said, they're probably going to try to work together here a little bit to try to get it pulled away from the rest of these drivers, just so they can battle it out amongst themselves. Oh, we got some blocking going on for that 2nd place, as Hoffledinger is going to take the outside to get around Cody Meadows here potentially, but Cody Meadows is going to get a better drive off coming out of 2. Whoa, what a send. Man, did you see that move?
Yeah, that was an absolute wicked dive bomb. I'm sorry, I got so tranced on it, you know, with this battle here for a second that I forgot to unmute my mic for a second.
Yeah, Cody went down the block in the 16, whipping it really hard down to the inside, and it worked, and he was able to make the pass there. But that is allowing our leader, Mark Gonzalez, to pull away as they are battling really hard for that second spot. And we have less than 60 to go. About 56 laps left in this race.
Awesome, yeah, we have 56 laps to go. You know, time is starting to click away. Mark Gonzalez in that number 2, once again flexing his muscle out front. Michael Hoffman ended up in that second spot. Let's drop back a little bit here further in the field. Back here to right about that number 5 machine of Steven Sire, duking it out with the 3 of Manzo, as Manzo goes way wide, and that's going to allow the lap down of David Anderson to get on to the inside of him in the number 99. And here comes the 47 now with Thaddeus Friel looking to overtake him now for that 4th spot. No contact. The 3 is around, and that's going to bring out our caution. Definitely very unfortunate there for Philip Manzo in that number 3 machine.
Yeah, it looked like the 47 thought the 3 might have been running a little higher than he was and started to come off the corner a little soon, and just unfortunately got into his left rear there.
As you see him running real wide, and the 3 just came down, you know, thinking that he was clear, and that's just very unfortunate there. And that number 47 machine of Thaddeus Friel getting some more damage on the right side of his vehicle. So these drivers are going to have to come back down pit road, try to, you know, fix some of this damage here. And I believe, if my calculations are correct, that's going to bring your number 1 now, Mike Iskandar, back onto the lead lap with just about 51 laps to go when we go back green flag, I believe. Maybe 50 laps.
A couple of these drivers coming down the pits now. That way they possibly don't have to pit later into this race. And possibly a smart move here by, you know, we got the 2 of Mark Gonzalez down in the pits. We got Cody Meadows down in the pits. But the 16 opted to stay out, who was currently sitting P3. So we'll have to see how that plays out later.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see how it all does play out. Michael Hoffman finally out front. He still has 1 set of tires to his name. Charles Roberson, he still has 1 set of tires to his name. Kyle Benson and Jeff Weimer, as long as they haven't used up that 4th set, they might have at least 1 more tire to their name as well. And talk about Jeff Weimer in that number 60 machine. He's doing a pretty good job keeping that car up front in that Roush Fenway Kozlowski racing machine. So he's doing a good job up here hanging out in that top 5 today. Yeah, you know, looking at our playoff contenders, you know, Roberson, Weimer, Hernandez, Maines, all in the top 6. Gonzalez up in 8th, Meadows in 9th. So that's your top 6 in your championship as we go back 3. Hopley, he's up there in that 11th spot as well. So we still have 7 drivers still duking it out front, you know, having really good points day. but Chris Van Master in that number 38, he's struggling a little bit back in there in that 16th. Solo in the 10, he's going to be a couple laps down. Lautensteiger is going to be a couple laps down. And then we have a couple who are actually out of this race. And I believe the first one is going to be, I think it's Delgado in that number 12 machine. So at this point, I can guarantee you that Delgado, Chris Otto, I believe it's just those two. Yes, so Delgado and Otto, they are both in a must-win situation next week. They are in a must-win, or else that's going to be all she wrote for those two drivers. And at this point in time, they're out of the playoffs.
You know, Kyle Benson has got all the way back up into that P2 spot.
Yeah, really good drive there for Kyle Benson. He's another one that's really fast. You know, so seeing him be able to drive back all the way up here to that second spot, you know, it's not a bad day whatsoever. But still,
Mark Gonzalez making his way to the field as well. He's currently sitting P5 after, you know, going in and getting the first set of tires.
Yeah, you know, he's doing a phenomenal job, you know, easing his way towards the front end of the field here. He's not really trying to drive it too hard to use up the tires, you know, as he's right there on the back end of Hernandez. You know, he's just easing in the gas, not letting, you know, a lot of tire issues, you know, to have I'm so sorry, my brain just went kaput. He's not driving hard enough to waste his tires. And so he's doing a phenomenal job at keeping it that way as he's making his way up through the field. And it looks like he may get a run here on that 45.
Yeah, and you know, a couple of these leaders still might have to pit here, as you know, they didn't go down and top off on fuel or take tires or anything. So there's the potential that he's just going to be able to pass them as they go into the pits. He doesn't really have to push super hard.
Exactly. He does not have to push hard whatsoever. As we are coming down to 45 laps to go this time by. So time is starting to really tick away. The cautions have become more spread out. And that only means, you know, now they got to go into conserve mode as they're not, as they are using up more tires now.
One thing I do love about this new tire model, you know, it's just the ability, if you do overdrive the first few laps, you can take it easy and they will pull off.
Yeah, absolutely. And here comes that number 2 now working on the inside of Hernandez as they are going to drag race down the back straightaway here, but Hernandez gets one heck of a run out of turn 2. But Gonzalez stays right there with him, and he's going to try to make the pass clear here in 3 and 4, not able to make it happen. As Hernandez is still going to flex his muscle out here of turn 4. He's going to squeeze him up into the wall, and that's going to allow Gonzalez to get around Hernandez. But here comes Hernandez attacking back to the inside.
Yeah, it looks like Gonzalez is going to be able to get around that number 20 as well, Charles Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson, he's going to fall back to that 4th spot. Hernandez working his way back, you know, around Cody Meadows there. Now he has his eyes set on that number 20 machine of Robertson. As he attacks to the inside, he throws it down into turn number 1 and 2, and he will make it stick. But here comes that 21. Little tap there from Meadows on the back of Robertson, but they both keep it straight, and they'll now run single file as another big jump down to turn 3. Oh, man, that was close.
Yeah, and keep in mind, Meadows is on the same strategy as Gonzalez, so he is potentially racing Gonzalez for the lead of this race if it does go green the rest of the way.
Yeah, absolutely, and right behind them, you have Justin Johnson, who's doing a phenomenal job in that Pennzoil number 22 for Penske. He's been pretty quiet majority of this race, you know. staying out of trouble as he's made his way up into that 6th spot. He's moved up 23 spots since we've gone green flag, and he's now going to try to make another spot here as the 21 of Meadows gets way wide in turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, could be wrong, but I believe after last year's race there was a conversation that he might be being a little too aggressive. So this week he is going to show that he can, you know, go unnoticed, but still run very well, as he's been, you know, silently running near the top 10 the whole race.
Yeah, absolutely. As we have a battle up here for your race lead, Benson in that 33 on the outside, Hoffledason on the inside, and that's going to bring that number 2 of Mark Gonzalez right back to the back bumper of these two drivers. As you see Benson dive down, tap a little bit to Michael Hoffledason, as he's going to work on the inside of him, give a little more tap. He's going to push him up the wall, up towards the wall. He's going to back out, but that's going to allow that number 2 machine to get on the inside of Benson. Benson's going to hold that number 2 down to that inside lane, and the 2, he's got his size set now on that number 16 of Hoffledason as they exit turn number 4, but Hoffledason, he will lead this lap as the 2 behind him are still running side by side. Gonzalez finally makes, now he clears him for that 2nd spot. Now it's going to see what Benson can do about trying to get back to the inside of Gonzalez heading into turn 3, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. He's going to have to dive very far into turn 3, which he does, and that's going to push the number 2 up high, and here comes Benson once again attacking on the inside of Gonzalez as they are going to run almost side by side down the front straightaway, but Gonzalez just has that better run out of turn 4. As you see Gonzalez now locking up the brakes, getting into turn 1 so that he avoids hitting Hoffledason, as they will drive down the back straightaway, and he's now got his eyes set on your race leader of Hoffledason. Hoffledason slips up just a little bit. That opens the door for the 2 of Gonzalez, and Gonzalez, he's going to try to drive it out right out of turn number 4, not able to make it. Hoffledason, he will lead this lap heading down into turn number 1. Gonzalez will clear. Hoffledason goes for the crossover, not able to get it down there, and so they will go ahead and run single file out of turn number 2. So Gonzalez, Hoffledason, now Benson now up in 3rd. So these 3 drivers are still running it nice and hot here. Hoffledason still trying to get back to the inside of Gonzalez, not able to make it happen this time by as they exit turn 4.
Just a little update. Cody Meadows finally able to get around that 20 car with Charles Robertson. And Justin Johnson able to follow him on through as well. So they're going to be looking to make their way up towards the front of this field, as well as they're on the same strategy as, you know, Mark Gonzalez, who is currently, you know, pointed as our leader.
I'm so sorry about that. If I ever talk like that again and you want to get something in, just tell me to shut up.
No, sir, you were doing a wonderful job calling that battle out there. As, whoa, somebody's going into the pits, I believe, and I really thought Mark Gonzalez was going to eat the back of him.
That is Thaddeus Friel coming in. Let's go back, take a look, and as he just slows big time. Oh, he drifts up the track as your race leaders are coming, and okay, so he just took it down to the inside, and everybody else was able to get around him just fine. So no harm, no foul on that one. But Thaddeus Friel in that number 47 coming down pit road for the final time, as he will pull out away from his pit stop, as your race leader is going to go 3 wide and get around that number 3 and 38 as your well, I'm sorry.
Number 33 and 16 getting stuck behind them, so that's going to open the gap up even more from Gonzalez there as they're coming out of 2. And they're now working their way around to 38, and holy cow, we're getting contact between the 33 and the 16, and 3 and 4, and 16 able to save it and get right back on the bumper to 33. Gave me a little nudge to let him know he wasn't happy about that.
What craziness, trying to work their way around that number 3 of Philip Manzo and the 38 of Chris Van Mastrik. Both of those drivers, or all top of your 3 drivers, all were 3 wide at some point, passing those couple drivers as they get around Frank DeAngelis in that number 62 machine. But that allowed Gonzalez to pull out to just a little bit over of a second gap on Kyle Benson. But man, that was some crazy movement going on as Cody Meadows and the 45 of Angel Hernandez now making their way around those 2 lap cars, and they're continuing to battle it out back here for that number 3rd spot. As you see, Meadows get an incredible run out of turn number 2, and they will drag race down the back straightaway. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the 62. That's a lap down car, but I need to refocus on who my drivers are out here. So it's Cody Meadows, Angel Hernandez in the 45, and right behind them is Justin Johnson. As you see, Hernandez make an incredible run there on the 21 machine, as they will switch spots into turn 1 and coming out of turn 2. Meadows not able to make it happen as they come out of turn 2, so they're going to run single file here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 4th, 5th, 6th. I'm sorry.
Gonzalez up in that clean air. If this goes green, this might just be his race to lose, as he's able to, start really putting a hurting on this field here and increase the gap lap to lap.
Yeah, Mark Gonzalez out front as we ride on board. He's doing everything right in this number 2 machine for Team Penske. He is looking for that 3rd win. He came close, I think it was last week, he came close to that 3rd win, but just had some issues. Unable to, make it happen. As we're going to jump back here to Kyle Benson, looking back to Michael Hofledason, as they will exit turn number 2.
Well, we also got a battle for this, I believe, 5th place spot here between Justin Johnson and Cody Meadows, as they're side by side going into 3 this time.
Yeah, definitely Justin Johnson on the inside of Cody Meadows. He's able to clear him for that 5th spot. The last couple laps, Cody Meadows has dropped all the way from that 3rd spot, I believe it was, all the way back to that 6th spot. So something's definitely up with that number 21 machine, Ford Mustang from Wood Brothers, as he's starting to have a lot of issues. And it looks like, he pitted back on lap 147, so a little bit past that before that halfway, the last 50 lap mark, I should say. And he's been falling back ever since.
I'm wondering if that battle with the 20 earlier, where he was having such trouble getting around the 20, hurt his tires any.
I mean, that's definitely very possible, as our battle for a second is starting to heat back up. Michael Hofledinger right on the back bumper of Kyle Benson now. And Hofledinger, he's looking to go to the inside, not able to make it happen. Benson's going to cut off his nose at the entry of turn number 3, so he's going to fall back a little bit, look for a better run here out of turn 4, which he does, and he's going to run to the inside of Benson now as they dive down into turn number 1. Almost made a little bit of contact, as we have one driver coming down pit road. That's going to be Joey Maines in that number 48 machine.
It appears we're starting to see some pit stops as the number 20 is going down to pits this time. We got about 24 laps left in this race, and a lot of these drivers still do need to make a pit stop. I would assume Kyle Benson and Michael Hofledinger need to make a pit as well. Possibly even Angel Hernandez, who's currently running P4.
Yeah, if you guys... Sorry, if you guys take a look right underneath of your ticker, you see the cars that are down pit road. So right now, Scott Weimer in that 12th spot, he is down on pit road now.
Yeah, and Charles Arbison able to get out of the pits with no problem, and I think he's going to be scored a lap down here potentially, but he's going to have the fresher tires to be able to fight back and get his lap back. As we're coming into the closing 20 laps. I'm not sure if he'll have enough time to be able to, get caught back up here, but still potentially looking for a top 10 finish.
Yeah, definitely something these drivers are going to want to pay very close attention to. As we are coming into our closing laps of this event, 20 laps to go this time by for your race leader. For the ones that are coming down pit road, you know, they're going to want to be careful not to speed down pit road, because that right there can spell absolute disaster, as we have Fairman down pit road, and he's leaving his box with a 15.1 second stop. So I'm trying to look through the field and find some close, tight racing somewhere. But everybody's pretty decently spread out at the moment, except for Benson and Hoflidason here. This is currently your closest battle on track, and this is going to be for that second spot.
Yeah, that is a good point, but I'm enjoying watching this 2-car work his way through these lap cars at the moment, as he's really just, you know, letting them know that he's there and making sure he can get around them as quick as possible.
Yeah, Mark Gonzalez is doing a phenomenal job up here in that number 2 spot. Justin Johnson was able to get around Angel Hernandez for that 4th spot, as they were working their way around that number 48, or that 48's working their way around those two drivers, I should say, as the 48 has fresh tires. So I think that lap down car probably played a little bit of a factor there in helping Johnson get around Hernandez in that number 45 machine.
I don't know what's going on, but I did hear some tires screeching just a moment ago, but it does not appear we had any cautions or wrecks, so.
Yeah, everything is looking good and fine as dandy, as you have more drivers starting to come down pit road.
16, Michael Hofferdason going down pits this time. Kyle Benson still opting to stay out here. That is going to allow for Michael to, you know, potentially get around him here, as he's going to have fresher tires sooner and be able to make up a lot of ground on him.
Yeah, absolutely. As we jump back up here to your race leader, Mark Gonzalez, in that Menards number 2 Ford Mustang for Penske. You know, just once again, he's out here, flexing his muscles, you know, that he's done. Because whenever we see Gonzalez this dominant, we know he's going to win the race. And that's exactly what happened his last 2 times that he brought his number 2 machine into victory lane. Is he came out, he dominated, and never looked back. And that's exactly the same, same thing that we're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, but tonight I'm really going to have to give it to the strategy call to go ahead and take tires that last caution. You know, as we've been having a lot of cautions this race, and it's like he knew that we were going to have a really long green flag run, and it's paying off to his advantage right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's still putting down really fast lap times. You know, he came back down on lap 147, and we're working lap 148, and he's still running 29.7s, and his fastest lap was a 29.01. So the fact that he's not even running 1 second off his own pace in that number 2 machine, running on 40-something old tires, is absolutely blowing my mind. He's doing it right today here at Milwaukee. And the second place behind him, Kyle Benson, he's 7 seconds back in that number 33 machine.
Yeah, and I'm looking at chat. It looks like we missed a few messages. Sorry about that, guys. And we will have a great call and enjoy your work, bud.
The Ford got turned, but no caution. So no harm, no foul on that one, as he was able to manage it to keep it moving again. So what else did we miss over in our chat?
Looked like Mr. Mailer stopped by to, chill for a moment, and just said a few comments and said have a great day. He's got to get back to work.
Matt Metler, one heck of a guy. Supposed to be in this event in that number 66 Ford Mustang, but unfortunately he was called into work. Looking forward, to work with him in 2 months, as I shouldn't say anything yet, but we're going to be working and broadcasting a uphill climb over on Racers Elite Network. Definitely one of the first of its kind for sure. And I was able to talk with Matt, and hopefully we're going to be able to get Matt Mettler on board 100% there, as we see that number 22 of Justin Johnson now trying to attack on the inside of Benson. Not able to do it, but right on Johnson's back bumper is going to be Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, and Cody Meadows, still out on the track and just seems like he's lost the pace out of that car. As he was pushing really hard earlier, and I see tire smoke.
Yeah, that 34 getting in hard and deep into turn number 1. Almost got up into Hernandez, but was able to keep it off of Hernandez. As you see the 22 Johnson now attacking the inside of Benson out of turn number 4. And they're going to drag race down this front straightaway. He's going to get him cleared. The 34 now making a move to get around these guys, trying to get his lap back. That's Larry Fairman as Hernandez now works his way on the inside of Benson. He will clear him, and that's going to send Benson back over to that 4th spot. And Cody Meadows, he's going to get around Benson as well for 6th. And here comes that number 60 with fresh tires, getting around these guys with no problem.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the 33 of Benson, he's done a really good job on these old tires, since he is on a little bit older tires than most of these other drivers. But the new tires will prevail eventually at the end of the day, as he's working a really long run on these tires as we got 8 laps left. And the 3 car checking up, coming out of the corner, and we almost had an issue there.
Philip Manzo out of Henderson, Nevada. Definitely checked up big time getting out of the corner there. Let's see here. Still got a good...
Going in the wall on the front stretch, I believe it was the 99. Luckily, able to get out of everybody's way, no harm, no foul.
That 21 was looking on the inside of Angel Hernandez, and that number 45, Meadows, trying to make his way back towards the front. Just not able to make anything happen as of now, but we just have 5 laps to go this time by for your race leader, Mark Gonzalez, as these guys back here battling it nice and hard for that 2nd spot, as Justin Johnson currently has it, but Angel Hernandez and Cody Meadows, they all want it.
Yeah, and Gonzalez, up to like a 11-second gap to 2nd place here. He can just put on the cruise control at this point and, kind of take it easy, and all he's got to do is pray that there is not a caution in these last 5 laps.
Absolutely, as he has an 11-second gap on these drivers behind him, and he's still pulling away. And Justin Johnson has the same amount of tires on his car as your race leader, and he's running just about a half second slower. So the only drivers right now that is in the 29 second range is the ones that have fresh tires, and Joey Maines in that number 48 machine. Him and Mark Gonzalez are on the lead lap running 29. So those guys know how to get the job done here as laps continue to tick away.
That is absolutely crazy. Gonzalez lapping the 16 of Hoffel-Dason, who just came in to get a fresh set of tires not that long ago.
Yeah, definitely. Hoffel-Dason struggling back there in that number 16 spot. And, like you said, he just got passed by somebody on older tires. So Gonzalez has a secret here that he's not sharing with anybody, as that 22 of Johnson still trying to work around that number 60 machine here in the closing laps. That 60 machine, causing a little headache here for your race leaders, as Hernandez was able to get around Johnson, and then the 60 machine.
2 to go this time by. Sorry to cut you off there, but Gonzalez is going to have to pray that there's not a caution within this last lap here as we're getting ready to take the white flag. He's currently in 2. And at this point, there is almost no possible way he can lose this race unless something dramatic happens here.
Yeah, he just wiggled his car heading down into turn number 3. I hope that doesn't mean anything for Gonzalez, as he's coming to ground to get the white flag this time by. Mark Gonzalez out of Fort Worth, Texas, driving for Team Penske in that Menards number 2 machine. Having an absolute phenomenal day. Fell to the back, got caught, under caution back in the field, worked his way back up to the front, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And coming out turn number 4, ladies and gentlemen, your Say Cheese 200 winner, Mark Gonzalez in that number 2. Angel Hernandez in that number 45 is going to bring it home second. Justin Johnson will bring it home third. Cody Meadows in that number 21 machine will bring it home fourth. And then Kyle Benson will bring it home fifth, as we have one car coming across the start-finish line under no power. Didn't catch to see what car number that was, but a lot of really good racing all around, ladies and gentlemen. Your race winner, Mark Gonzalez, getting his 3rd win of the season. What an incredible run all day, as the 21 there of Cody Meadows showing some love to the number 2.
I just want to say, only 6 cars left on the lead lap at the end of that race. How that changed from such a caution fest to a really long green flag run to close out this race was just amazing. And, you know, it really allowed us to see some pit strategy there that really paid off for a couple of these drivers.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it really paid off for him. And, you know, just all around, what an incredible run for him to come all the way back, come home, win. You know, Angel Hernandez, you know, fought tooth and nail the closing laps there, you know, to come back second after a lot of struggles for that number 45 Toyota today. And then coming home third is going to be Justin Johnson in that number 22 machine. He wasn't aggressive until the very last few laps there, but Justin Johnson showed, you know, hey, you know, I don't need to race aggressively to be up front, and he just proved that today with that 3rd place finish.
Yeah, that is very true, and I mean, just overall, what a good show. But Bud, I'm gonna let you take over for interviews, and I've got to hop out of here to go do my setup stuff.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Dakota LaRue, thank you so much for joining us here on the iCast Racing Network. Remember, guys, next week, Dakota will be at the helm of the production next week. So we're excited to see what he can do over here with us on the iCast Racing Network. So we'll definitely be in touch later on this week. Make sure we get you fully set up on the iCast Racing Network, and we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. I look forward to it, and I appreciate you letting me up in the booth with you as normal. Had a good time. But later, bud.
All right, see you later, Dakota. Ladies and gentlemen, what a crazy, crazy race this was. Started out a lot of cautions out front, and then at the end of the day, everything ended up winding down. Everything winding down near now for the end of this race. But let's go ahead and take a look here at our race results for the Say Cheese 200 here at the Milwaukee Mile. Mark Gonzalez out front, followed by Angel Hernandez. Justin Johnson in that number 22 will bring it home third. Cody Meadows fought back to that 4th spot. Kyle Benson will bring it home 5th in that number 33. What a really great run for him. Your last car on the lead lap is going to be Steven Sire in that number 5 machine for Hendrick Motorsports. Everybody else 1 or more laps down. So Michael Hoffledason will bring it home 7th. Joey Maines 8th. Kyle Williams will bring it home 9th. Jeff Weimer will bring it home 10th. That runs out your top 10. Charles Roberson, John Hopley, Larry Fairman, Chris Van Mastert, Mike Iskandar will bring up your top 15 there. Philip Manzo, Thaddeus Friel, Frank DeAngelis, Craig Lautenslager, and Danny Solo will round out your top 20. 21st is going to be David Anderson, Bob Wyckoff, Chris Bishop, Fabricio Lamana, and Parker Strandit will round out your top 25. Dylan Lansdale, Brian Treadwell, Dylan Smith, Zach Phillips, Christian Delgado's your top 30. And rounding out your field, it's going to be Shane Griffin, Alyssa Sharp, Joshua Grosso, Scott Trusty, David Justin, Chris Otto, Will Austin, and unfortunately, somebody who got called into work is going to be Matt Metler rounding out our field of 38 today. All around, ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible race, and what a lot of really, good green flag racing we saw at the end of this thing. And before we do anything else, let's go ahead and talk with our top three, and we're going to start off here with Justin Johnson and that number 22 machine. Just one moment here. Let me slow things down here just a little bit as we talk to our drivers here. All right, and let's go ahead and bring up driver to that number 22 Penske machine of Justin Johnson. Justin, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you.
Justin, what an incredible day for you today. Driving back from the back of the field, you started, or you drove up 25 spots. Tell us about your day in that number 22, and just what was your thought process throughout all the cautions at the beginning, and getting to the end of the race.
Man, after Phoenix and not being able to win that race, and some penalties that I got post that race as well, and being suspended for the week, I just wanted to have a nice, clean, nice day, see what I can do, and I got just that. Really wish I could have got second. Some lap cars got in my way, and I just couldn't hold on to it, but I'm very happy with third.
Yeah, just all around really great battle between you and Angel Hernandez at the end. Your teammate Mark Gonzalez, he was wicked fast in that number 2 machine. I don't think anybody was going to be able to touch him, but man, like you said, starting, near the back today due to some penalties and working your way to third. I mean, not a horrible day whatsoever. And if I'm not mistaken, this should be able to keep you in the next round as long as everything goes well next week in Kentucky.
It would if I was not eliminated from last week. I did race Phoenix, but that was a disqualification. So, and then I got suspended a week, so I didn't get any points last round.
That's right. I totally forgot about that. That slipped my mind. I apologize about that. But I
mean, it's all good. But if I was in the playoffs still, this would have been an amazing run.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we still got, a handful of races. You still have time to come back and take a win or two at the end of this thing and show them that you belong. But yeah, congratulations on your third place today. And is there anybody that you'd like to shout out before I let you go today?
Just going to shout out the team. Mark was really, really fast. Christian, unfortunately, got in a wreck early. And Cody, he's always fast. That was their call to pit for tires on the last yellow, and I pit with them. So, honestly, if I wasn't with them, I probably wouldn't have finished third. So, shout out to Team Penske and Wood Brothers.
Yeah, definitely really smart call there between all of you guys. So, congratulations on your third, Justin. We'll see you next week in Kentucky.
All right, see you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 22 Penske Ford Mustang, Justin Johnson. Now let's go ahead and bring up your second place driver of Angel Hernandez, driver of that number 45 machine for 2311. Angel, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Angel, what a great day for you. Started second, came home second. Very strong race car for you today. You fell back a little bit through the field. I believe we saw you get sideways at one point, I believe. But you came back marching through, made that final call on that last caution to come down pit road. Tell us about that number 45 machine. How fast was it today?
I don't know. I mean, it was clearly good enough for second, but yeah, I had nothing on Mark. Even I wanted to try and battle for the win. But yeah, just overall decent race. I think stage one when we pit in, my spotter told me 10, and then didn't tell me anything else. I don't know if I didn't pay him enough or what, but yeah, just good to recover from that and not get involved in any of those wrecks.
Yeah, definitely. The whole beginning of the race was plagued with caution after caution, and you're able to work your way through it, all the way back up here to, back into second. What's your thoughts about heading into Kentucky next week?
I mean, I run up there pretty decent, top 5, top 10. So, I think, like I said, maybe like I said last week, just do the usual and just learn off of the people around me, and yeah, just run whatever comes to me.
Yeah, definitely there. And before I let you go, is there any final shout outs that you would like to do today?
Yeah, all the JGR 23XI guys in the voice chat. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Congratulations on your second spot, Angel, and we'll see you next week in Kentucky.
All right. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver that number 45, machine for 2311, Angel Hernandez. Let's go ahead and bring up your race winner, Mark Gonzalez, who is now a 3-time winner here in the INSF series for Menards and Penske. Mark, do you got a copy?
Yes, I got a copy.
Mark, you started on the pole, ended on in first. Tell me about that number 2 race car today.
Man, whatever they put in that setup today, they just dialed it in. I mean, I had good long run pace at not at just the end of this run with the tire advantage, but even before that, I was able to keep up with the 16 there at the end of that other stage. And so I knew this car was pretty fast on the long run. I just needed to get a little bit of track position and a little bit of luck. The 33 got a little penalty for one of the restarts like I did earlier in the race. And so I just needed a little bit of luck and a little bit of track position. And it paid off at the very end.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I didn't catch that one, so I didn't know that you jumped the start on one of the restarts there. But, man, that number 2 machine was just wicked fast today. Nobody could touch you once you got out into that clean air. How was it trying to navigate through the lap down traffic? And I know at a couple points we saw you go 3 wide trying to get around them. So what was your thought process trying to get around the lap traffic today?
I was just trying to, like try to read their car language. If you see somebody backing off and you don't want to be in that situation, just back off, take it next turn. And I knew there was some battling going on out there. So I just try to be really respectful, always trying to get around without trying to mess up the car. Because if you mess up the car, then, I mean, that's your day over. So I didn't want that to happen for me and the crew that worked on this all day.
Yeah, definitely. I'm 100% with you on that one for sure. And before I let you go today, Mark, do you have any final shout outs?
Yeah, I want to shout out my family. I know it takes a lot of time out of their spending time with them. So I want to thank them for allowing me to do this on every Saturday. I also want to thank y'all for putting up a good broadcast. I know, like I said last week, I know how much effort goes into this. I want to thank the league for putting on this league. And then I want to thank the Team Penske Racing guys because they navigated me through some of the points in the race and gave me some strategy calls that I could use. And so it's an all-around team effort. So I just want to thank everybody.
All right, so not only coming home first, but all around, it's a win for Penske. Mark, congratulations on your win tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week when we head to Kentucky.
Yes, sir. I'll see y'all later.
See ya. Ladies and gentlemen, driver that number 2 Menards Ford Mustang for Team Penske, Mark Gonzalez. Just all around, ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible race that we got to see here today. Really good racing, really fun. Just really fun craziness that we got to witness today. And all around, really good racing. Really, especially there near the end, just all around awesome, fun racing. I want to thank everybody so much for joining us right here on the iCast Racing Network. Tomorrow, you guys could catch me right here on the iCast Racing Network at 8 p.m. as the Next Level Gaming Community ARCA Series. They will be over at Martinsville. And then on Monday, over on Sensational TV, you can find me over there at just about 3 p.m. Eastern. And tomorrow night as well, I should be back live here on the iCast Racing Network at Oswego. Tuesday, I'll be over on Racers Elite, doing commentating over there for Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I'll be back here Thursday for the FNX series right here on the iCast Racing Network. So definitely a lot of fun, lots of good things coming up, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down at the bottom, ring that bell. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have yourself a beautiful time zone. And as always, we'll see you next time. Adios.
This has been a product race by iRacing. Thank you for your continued support. Don't forget to like and subscribe for notifications for all of our live events right here on YouTube and Twitch. We would like to thank SDK Gaming for their production overlays that makes this event enjoyable. Until next time, happy time zones.
If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And down with the window, baby, leave that key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to belong. Only for the night. If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe you could be with me, but only for the night. And down with the window, baby, leave that key outside the door. We don't need to tell nobody, but I think I'm ready to You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. You know it, for someday. You know it, don't know it. If you wanna stay with me, if you wanna try, maybe